Hello guys, I hope you're all doing well from wherever you are around the world. And guess what? Bonk has finally came down into my interest area for a massive move, potentially to the upside coming up soon. And if we look at the chart, this is the exact setup that I had in my last video, so you may go check them out, or you can head over to my description or click anywhere here on the screen to go check that out for yourself, because as I said in my last video, once we do come back down to retest at these levels over here, then I'll be looking for a possible long. Now if we close below here, bear in mind we're on a daily chart, then I'll be looking for a move to the upside by entering a trade anywhere within this box, preferably a bit more further down, because if you look to our left, this would be the area which I'll be looking for a massive limit order. Literally right at the bottom of this box, down this line over here. Once it gets touched by a candle or even by a wick, I'll be placing an order right there by putting a limit order. Once I do that, then my target would be at least back up to this level there. So let's say, for example, that happens from here to there. That should give me an easy 105% move to the upside. Not too shabby, but ultimately, if we look further to the left, it looks like we've made a huge pump to the upside before coming back down, kind of going sideways, and ultimately Bonk chose in direction to go down thanks to BTC, and from here we've been just following BTC ever since. So that means my ultimate target would be at least back up to the top up here, and depending how quickly we go up to there and reaction between these points, that one and this one over here, we should quite ease head our way back up to that 0.0003825. Once that happens, that means if I'm still holding this move from here all the way up to there, that will give me an easy 223% move to the upside. Not too shabby, but there's always a caveat. Potentially what could happen, depending how harsh BTC come back down, we could in fact break down below the larger rectangular box and go even further down, back down below over here. Now that will that would at least on the short term to immediate term be a bearish move for Bonk, and it'll just take us much longer to get from down here to reach back up to his all-time highs of up there. But what do you reckon, guys? Do you reckon we should be able to hold within this level here before ultimately coming back up to the top, or at least to make that easy 105% move to the upside? Or do you think we're just going to capitulate and go even much further down below here and go to much lower lows? I'll let you all leave that in a comment, of course, but quickly jumping into BTC and check the health of the chart, because ultimately BTC decides where the rest of the market goes. And yes guys, it looks like we've actually broken down below this blue line over here. If we were to do a full screen, yes guys, check this out. So basically with BTC, it looks like we've actually broken down below there, and the body of the candle is in fact below the blue line here and below this green candle there as a last level of support, because once we do break a certain structure, then it looks like we should be retesting back down to these levels up here of about $50,000 per BTC, and that'd be a quite of a biggish move down. I think it's about 60% move down. Let's just quickly double check. So from where we are now ish, right way down there, yeah, it's about 15-60% move to the downside. It's quite harsh because we did try to, we actually created like an all-time highs, came back down, didn't quite break up again, and then we kind of flipped the script, and it looks like we should be, hopefully this should be maybe even a false move to the downside and continue up and try to break its higher high. So right now you could make a case that this could be a bull flag, but let's get onto the weekly chart just to give us more of an idea how the chart is set up to be. Alright, look at this, guys. So it looks like on the weekly chart, okay, that is nowhere near a bull flag. It looks like that we should be heading away back down into these levels, maybe even lower, like around about 46 to 47k. In fact, we could even come down much further and to quite possibly retest down to these levels over here of between 40 to 41, or anywhere within this box over here. Wow, that's going to really hamper Bonk as well as the rest of the cryptos that's gone into its all-time highs and pulling much further back. Yes, guys, so looking at Bonk, it does look a lot more healthier than perhaps, you know, some of the other cryptocurrencies out there in the market. But currently, it looks like we are testing here. Hopefully, this will be the final test before we do eventually head away back up there to the top. So if you're a hodler, guys, then yes, you should be hodling a lot more around these levels over here. Consider each level's an important area of hodling, but I'll get to that in a second. Just going to measure quickly by bringing out the measuring tool. So from here to there is 165% move to the upside. Not measuring the wick because I tend to measure the body of the candle instead. Alright, so getting back to the hodlers. So for you guys, all you got to do, or your job, is essentially to be adding a lot more to your bags as we are pulling back. So let's say, for example, here we've gone up, we came back in this level. This could be a case of, you know, a good area to accumulate. We went up, came back to retest this level. Again, you can always add whenever we make a significant pullback, but we ranged it for a little while before ultimately breaking down. This again would have been a good call, well, good area for reaccumulation. Then we kind of done that again, added more. We went up, obviously held on to your bags to see how high we can go. Hopefully you might have taken some profit up here. If you haven't, that's absolutely fine, because ultimately we'll come back down anyway to give it another opportunity to load up even more here for even a bigger move to the upside. And I think that is imminent, guys, because I reckon I won't get into that actually. Once we do break up from a certain level, we pull back, we've gone up, and now ultimately we're retesting into this level over there. That's quite a decent chart, guys, because it's almost like picture perfect. Only thing is now we've got to see how Bitcoin reacts around its current level, because if BTC falls even a lot more quicker, maybe even more harsher, it should bring down Bonk as well as the rest of the market along with it. However, if Bitcoin decides to hold its level and eventually push up from its current price, I can only see Bonk following the same suit. And in fact, hopefully, well, the first case will be retesting here, which will be, you know, possibly quite quick. How we react in this zone, I'm not quite sure, or depends on BTC. But if we bounce back up here very quickly, which means we should be able to retest the all-time highs fairly soon before ultimately smashing through that and get into the discovery phase. So for now, guys, I would say from the short-term perspective, now would be perfect area to accumulate. If you're a hodler, if you are an intraday trader and you love using leverage, I would say go in very carefully. Just add your limit orders around about here. Then maybe go down into the 4-hourly chart, because I'll show you why. Because 4-hourly chart is actually good for placing an entry or precise entry. If we look at here, for instance, check this out. We have in fact broken down into the golden area. I like to call it a golden area because that's the area in which I'll be looking for a trade, that's for sure. But if we don't break down below here and we're on the verge of breaking above here, then yes, that would be definitely a stronger probability case to enter there for a move to the upside. Otherwise, if we do capitulate from here and break down below there, then obviously my next level of entry is going to be right back down here. But either way, guys, as long as you got like a large enough stop loss, then you should be fine anyway, because Let's get back into the daily. You could do something like this depending on your risk appetite, where you can do like this, where you do that, go for a long position. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you decide to enter there. You could give yourself not a 55% stop loss. That's just too much. Let's say, for example, depending on your trade account size, you could do maybe 21 or even 27 percent as in stop loss, and your possible win rate could be right up here. Well, that would be the target anyway, up there, and that would give you 76%. So in this trade, you could quite possibly either get 76% or minus 29. That's more than 2 to 1. That's literally almost 4 to 1 actually. So yes guys, so that could be a possibly decent trade if you say enter right now. Otherwise, if you're not an impatient type of guy or person, you can just wait until we drop a little bit further and enter anywhere between here, which means your stop loss will be somewhat down here. Your entry should be even down here ideally, because that way you can give the chart a bit more of a wiggle for it to move before ultimately turning and going to the upside. And if you do enter or place a limit order somewhere around about there, that means potentially you could be in it for an 80% long, and your stop loss would be roughly around about 32%. That's why you don't really need to trade or do level trading here at all. But if you do, because you got a higher risk appetite, you could do maybe 2 or 3x. Anything more than that, well guys, I'll leave that down to you, because this is not financial advice. So that's what I'll be looking for, guys. Currently is in a zone where I'm looking for an entry and to place couple round about here. I might even, no, when actually, because it's broken down below for me, I might even just add one over here as a limit order, and one more down there just in case if you do wick in, only because I've been doing this for a long time and that is just my strategy, which does give me a much more higher decent win rate. If you like to learn on how to do this, guys, it's quite simple. Either you can head over towards my Patreon and go straight into my most popular tier, which is the Terra Crypto 23 Trading Coach for £17 per month, or $20 per month, depending where you are from around the world, where you get 1 hour of one-to-one, either by Skype, Zoom, or even Google Meet, and I can show you and train you at the same time on the live demo account how to trade more effectively, but most importantly, help you to structure your trades. That way you'll be able to see for yourself how it all works out and try to keep to that same strategy until you literally master it. And on top of that, for this $17 or $20 per month, or your currency from around the world, you may also use me as a mentor, which means you can also ask me questions before you decide to enter, or if you got a strategy in mind or even a setup, let me know and I'll be happy to assist you from there, where we could just practice that firstly on a demo before you decide to go live on the smaller account. So guys, I will leave that there, of course. But if you feel a little bit too lazy, you don't want to do that at all, but you just want a trade course, you can come over towards my trade course for £8.50 or $10 per month. Either way, guys, I'll leave that down to you. But thank you very much for watching my video for today. I hope you found it useful and informative. If you haven't done so already, guys, do me a favor, give me a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you'll be updated on my latest contents. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the button over here. If you haven't checked out my last 2 videos, there, go check them out, and I'll see you all in the next one.